Now turn to Section 3. Section 3. You will hear two students, Sam and Liz, discussing a project for their marketing course. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Liz, I'm getting really worried about this marketing project we have to do together. Assessment is based on a single year-long project.
Oh, don't worry, Sam. All it takes is appropriate planning. I used to work in finance and we always divided the year into quarters. So let's just do a quarter-by-quarter year-long plan.
Well, I intend to firstly interview people. I mean, we need raw data for this project, right?
Okay, that's your job. So we just need to coordinate my contribution so that we don't double up at the beginning. I can carry out the research on all the theoretical issues and background, for example.
Well, why don't you do the summaries of the main texts as well? You know, write them up.
Oh, I think we know those texts well enough already, and it's only optional anyway, so let's not bother with it.
Okay.
Now, moving on to the second quarter of the year, I'll start collecting all the relevant information, the details, facts, and examples from my book reading, while you can do an analysis of the first-hand information you got from the interviews.
Okay, and then it's break time. I would say by then, mid-year, both you and I will have to decide on our point of view.
And how we'll support it in the essay, and based on that, we can work together on designing an appropriate structure for the final writing, when we present everything.
We'll need a bibliography, of course. I could do that in the third quarter, but since you did all the theoretical research, it would be a better job for you.
We can do that at the very end of the year, but I'll make the preliminary list as I begin writing the essay proper. Meanwhile, you can begin sorting out the numerical data into easily readable formats. That's what the other students will be doing. You know, grouping statistics in tabular form or making graphical representations.
And in the last quarter, we can proofread each other's work, allowing a different set of eyes to be involved. So I'll check your writing for any mistakes, typos, or logical problems. I'm sure the essay will certainly benefit from such a thorough proofread.
And I'll check all your tabulated statistics and graphs for the same issues.
And then we'll just put it all together. Well, now it sounds far less scary.
That's right. All you need is a clear, logical, and coherent plan.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
As we discussed, Liz, my first task on this project is to get data using interviews, over 100 of them. To do that, I'll need to put a flyer on the university notice board to get volunteers.
Okay, just do that and we can start immediately.
But I tried this last year and almost no one replied. The whole project was a failure as a result.
You just need to ensure that the flyer is designed well. I did a course in design, so I can help you.
I'm all ears.
Well, one of the first rules, since the notice board will be full of papers, is to make sure your flyer stands out. Thus, don't use white paper, use coloured paper.
You mean like yellow paper?
Yellow, red, orange, it doesn't matter, as long as it's coloured and thus more obvious. Similarly, make the heading attract people, and money does this, right?
Oh, sure. Everyone wants money.
So don't say something boring such as help needed, but something such as easy money. That will immediately attract people's interest, and also ensure they know that it won't take much time. These interviews are about half an hour, so tell them that right under the heading.
Sounds good. Keep going.
Well, by the same token, people don't have the time to read. They don't want to struggle through a large number of words. Thus, limit them. That will make the flyer easily and quickly read. Finally, there's a lot of false advertising and tricky people out there, so the readers might get suspicious, particularly when you're offering significant money for little work. You need to thus assure them that this is legitimate. So, at the very top of the page, make sure you indicate that the scheme has been approved by the course convener. Just some writing saying this, but you should also add a signature. It doesn't matter who signs it. People don't read it anyway. In fact, you could even sign it yourself.
Don't worry, I can get a legitimate signature.
But you should definitely include a stamp, which is more reassuring to the readers.
What sort of stamp?
The department stamp. Some people put the university stamp, but to be honest, anyone can acquire that from the student union. A stamp from your department shows much more authenticity. And that way, everyone will feel that the scheme is legitimate and hopefully be willing to give you a ring.
So that's it? It's all finished?
That's it, apart from the contact details at the bottom of the page, of course.
Of course. Hey, that was some useful advice. I think a flyer like that will really draw them in. Thanks for that.
No problem.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers.